Welcome to the world of science fiction Neon's Alien. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a new story from Neon's Alien universe. The sky was dark purple above the alien world. Wind blew dust across the dry ground. The sun here never fully set. It only dimmed. The land stayed quiet and strange. Ryan, a young human engineer, stood outside an old outpost station. He was checking. A broken power core. The place was silent except for the soft hum of machines. He liked the silence. No wars, no orders, just systems to fix. He wiped sweat from his brow and muttered, "Another boring day." But it didn't stay boring for long. From across the sand, something moved. A small, black transport ship flew low and landed fast, too fast. Its engines screeched. Ryan stepped back, confused. The ship's door opened quickly. Out stepped a tall alien woman. She was beautiful, skin glowing pale blue, eyes like liquid silver, and long white hair flowing behind. She wore strange robes with symbols Ryan didn't understand. She looked around wildly, then locked her gaze on him. "You!" she cried out. Ryan blinked. "Me?" She ran toward him. Her voice shook, but her steps were firm. When she reached him, she grabbed his hand in front of the station guards and other workers. "I found you," she said breathlessly. "You are my husband." The air fell silent. Ryan froze. "What?" Everyone stared. The guard stepped closer, confused but alert. "Is this true, human?" Ryan raised his hands. "No, I've never seen her in my life." But the alien woman held his hand tighter. "Don't lie," she said. "Say nothing else, please." Her eyes were pleading now, not romantic, but desperate. The guards looked at each other. One of them said, "If she claims pairing rights under old interspecies law, we cannot take her without trial." Another replied, "She may be hiding from someone." Ryan whispered, "Who are you?" The woman whispered back, "Please just nod. If you don't, they'll take me, and I will die." Ryan was no fool. He saw the fear in her eyes. Whoever she was running from, it was serious. Without thinking, he gave a small nod. The guards backed away slowly. "Pair confirmed," one said. The others turned and returned to their posts, suspicious but silent. Once they were gone, Ryan pulled his hand away. "Start talking, right now." The alien woman looked at him, eyes full of something deeper than fear. Hope. "My name is Lyrixa," she said softly. "I came here because I had no choice." "You told them I'm your husband because it's not a lie," she said. "You don't remember, but I do." Ryan stepped back. "What are you talking about? I've never met you before in my life." "Not in this one," she replied. He stared at her like she was insane. Then she said something stranger. "Your voice. It's the same. Your energy. Your soul. It matches. I've searched for you across 10 worlds, and now that I've found you, they'll come for both of us." Ryan didn't like how serious she sounded. "Who's coming?" he asked. She looked up at the sky. "The ones who erased the truth." That night, Ryan sat alone in the outpost's small dining hall. Lyrixa sat across from him, silent. She didn't eat. She just stared at the door, alert. Ryan leaned in. "Tell me everything." She whispered, "You and I were part of an ancient bond, a soul link done through a genetic match system before it was banned." "Banned? Why?" "Because it worked," she said. "Because humans and aliens started to connect too deeply. The Empire feared what might happen if two species truly became one." Ryan shook his head. "This sounds like a story." "It is," she said. "And you are part of it." He didn't know what to believe. But deep inside, something strange was happening. When she looked sad, he felt it too. When she smiled, even for a moment, his heart felt lighter. He didn't know her, but he also didn't feel like a stranger. And that was what scared him most. The outpost was quiet, but Ryan's mind was not. He couldn't sleep. The alien woman, Lyriksha, was asleep in the next room, guarded by locked doors and security fields. But even behind metal and glass, her presence still echoed inside his thoughts. How could a stranger claim to be his wife? How could she look into his eyes like she truly knew him, and worse? Why did he feel like part of her words might be true? The next morning, Ryan walked into the outpost's control room. Lyriksha was already there, standing by the window, staring at the rising red sun. "You didn't sleep," she said softly. He crossed his arms. "Neither did you." She turned and looked at him with tired eyes. "We need to talk. Somewhere. Private." Ryan hesitated, then nodded. They entered a side chamber with no cameras, no listening devices, just a bench and an old display screen. Ryan leaned against the wall. "Start explaining." Lyriksha took a deep breath. "Do you know what soul bonding is?" He shook his head. "Sounds like science fiction." She gave a sad smile. "On my world, it used to be real science. A long time ago, our ancestors found ways to connect two lives, not by blood, but by something deeper. Emotion, thought, memory." Ryan frowned. "But I'm human. You're not." She stepped closer. "Exactly. You were part of a secret trial. Years ago, a lost human colony agreed to test interspecies pairing technology. You were just a child, so was I." Ryan narrowed his eyes. "That colony, it was destroyed." "No," she said. "You were saved, taken before the collapse. They wiped your memory, hid the truth, but I never forgot you." Ryan's breath caught. The name of that colony had always been a blank in his file, classified. Even he didn't know what had happened there. He sat down slowly. "This is insane." "Is it?" Lyriksha asked. "Then why do you feel what I feel?" He stared at her. "I don't," he said quickly. But she stepped closer, slowly, and whispered, "Right now, I'm afraid." And suddenly, Ryan felt it. A wave of anxiety hit him like a cold wind. His heartbeat quickened. His hands shook. She wasn't touching him, but her fear was somehow inside him. What did you do?" he asked, backing away. "Nothing," she said. "I don't control it. It's the bond. It's still weak, but waking up." Ryan grabbed the edge of the table to steady himself. "No, this isn't right. I never agreed to any of this. You were a child," she said gently. "They never asked you. They just used you." He stared at the floor, trying to think clearly. "Why now? Why did you come here now?" "Because they found me," she said. "The Empire destroyed everyone linked through the trial. I ran for years. I searched for you in secret. I had one chance left. If I claimed the old interspecies law, called you my husband, they couldn't arrest me without a hearing." Ryan's voice was hard. "So you used me?" "I saved you," she replied. "Now they know you exist. They'll come for you too." Ryan wanted to shout, to run. But then he saw her again, truly looked at her. She wasn't a spy. She wasn't lying. She was terrified. And somehow, he was too. That night, Ryan sat alone, staring at an old picture of himself as a child. He looked at his own eyes, empty, quiet, as if something had always been missing. Now he wondered, was it her? The door behind him slid open. Lyriksha stepped inside slowly. "I can leave if you want, but if I do, I may not live to see another moon." Ryan didn't answer at first. Then he said quietly, "I don't believe everything you said. But I felt your fear." She nodded. He added, "If you're telling the truth, if this bond is real, then we'll find out together." She looked at him with soft surprise. "And if it's not?" she asked. Ryan gave a small smile. "Then you owe me a very big apology." The wind outside the outpost howled like a warning. Inside, Ryan and Lyrixa stood in front of a dusty old med station that hadn't been used in years. The walls were cracked. The screen flickered. But it still worked. "Are you sure this will prove anything?" Ryan asked, arms crossed. Lyrixa nodded slowly. "It's an advanced scanner. It reads more than blood. It can detect link traces, a special signal inside bonded minds." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "Sounds like magic." She gave a soft smile. "To you, maybe. But your body remembers things even if your brain doesn't." He stepped forward. "Let's test it then. You and me. Side by side." She placed her hand on the scanner first. It glowed blue and began reading. Then Ryan placed his hand beside hers. The screen buzzed. A long silence followed. Then, something strange happened. The screen didn't just show two different patterns, it combined them. A golden spiral appeared in the center, spinning slowly. Lyrixa gasped. "What does that mean?" Ryan asked. She looked at him with wide eyes. "It means the bond is real. We are linked." Ryan stepped back. "No, maybe the machine's broken. This place is ancient." But Lyrixa pointed at the spiral. "That pattern, it's rare, only seen when two minds are partially merged. And that spiral is the exact same one I've carried for years." Ryan stared at the screen. He couldn't look away. It was like seeing a reflection of something deep inside him, something that had always been hidden. His hands started shaking. "I don't remember anything," he said quietly. "You were a child," Lyrixa replied. "They erased it. But the bond is never fully gone. Not unless one of us dies." He sat down on a nearby bench, trying to breathe. "How can something so big be stolen from my life? How could I forget? You." Lyrixa sat beside him. "I didn't forget you," she said gently. "Even when the Empire burned the records, even when they came for the others, I felt you, like a soft pull in my chest. I knew you were alive." Ryan didn't speak. He felt dizzy, but somewhere inside something shifted. His heartbeat slowed. His mind calmed. A strange warmth spread through him, and suddenly, he could feel her emotions. She wasn't lying. She wasn't forcing him. She was waiting for him to accept what already existed. That night, while most workers at the outpost slept, Ryan stepped outside alone. The wind was cold, but the stars were bright above the rocky hills. He thought about everything: a forgotten experiment, a hidden soul link, an alien woman who remembered a bond he didn't. And yet, he didn't feel lost anymore. He heard footsteps. Behind him, it was Lyrixa. She stood beside him silently, looking up at the stars. "I used to wonder," she said softly, "if I was crazy for chasing a bond no one believed in." He turned to her. "Maybe you were." She smiled sadly. "But now I'm here." He nodded slowly. "Yeah," he said. "Now you're here." And for the first time since she arrived, he didn't want her to leave. But far away, high above in orbit, a silent probe drifted past the outpost's edge. Its red sensor pulsed. Once, then again, it had found them, and it had already sent a signal home. The Empire now knew. The human and the alien were bonded, and they were no longer safe. A red light blinked silently in the corner of the outpost. It was small, hidden, and deadly. The Empire's probe, now buried in a rock outside the outpost, had finished its scan. Inside, it carried a simple message. Target found. Human-alien bond confirmed. Terminate. Above the sky, in the shadow of the planet's rings, a black ship uncloaked. No lights, no sound, only purpose. Inside the outpost, Ryan was laughing. Just once Lyrixa had told him an old alien joke, something about moon beasts and gravity wings. He didn't understand all of it, but her smile made him smile. For a moment, things felt normal. Then the alarm rang. Sharp, violent, not a drill, unauthorized. Ship detected, incoming, fast. Lyriksha's face turned pale. They found us. Ryan grabbed his coat. How? She didn't answer. She didn't need to. They're not here to ask questions, are they? He asked. No, she said. They're here to erase the past. Explosions rocked the ground. Just minutes later, the outpost's east wall was torn open by plasma fire. 3 tall soldiers in dark armor marched through the smoke. Imperial erasers. They didn't speak. They didn't warn, they simply opened fire. Ryan and Lyrixa ran through a side tunnel, alarms howling all around them. This way, she shouted. How do you know where to go? He asked. I don't, she yelled back. But I've been running my whole life. The tunnel led to an old hangar filled with dust-covered speed bikes. Most were dead. One blinked green. Ryan jumped on, started it. Get on. Lyrixa wrapped her arms around his waist. They blasted through the metal doors and out into the wildlands. Behind them, the Empire's drones followed like angry crows. Hours passed. They crossed red valleys, broken cliffs, and alien forests, with glowing trees. Ryan didn't speak. His jaw was tight. His mind was racing. Lyrixa finally said, They won't stop. Not now. Ryan nodded. I figured. She looked at him. You still don't believe it fully, do you? He gripped the handlebars. I believe we're bonded. I believe they want us dead. But I don't know what to do with any of it. She stayed quiet, then added, You don't have to know, just stay alive. At sunset, they found shelter in a cave high above the cliffs. The world below looked peaceful, but it was a lie. Ryan sat by a small fire. Lyrixa sat across from him, holding a glowing crystal in her hands. What's that? He asked. A memory shard, she replied. It holds a piece of our past. You kept that all these years? She nodded, even when everyone told me I was wrong. He leaned back. Why me? He asked. You could have lived quietly, hidden, forgotten me. She stared into the crystal. I couldn't forget someone who still lived inside me, she said. Even if you forgot me. He didn't reply. But something in his chest, the place where loneliness lived, felt suddenly lighter. Down below, the black ship hovered silently in the valley. The captain stood on the bridge. His orders were clear. Erase the bond, by any means. But the signal had vanished. They've gone dark, he growled. That means only one thing. They're heading to the Forbidden Lands, his officer said, to the place where the first bonds were created. The captain smiled. Good. Let them run to the past. We'll finish it there. Back in the cave, Ryan felt something stir, not in the air, but in his soul, like a voice calling from far away. Not Lyrixa's, not his, but a place he'd never been, and somehow he knew they weren't running anymore, they were being called. The sun barely touched this part of the world. Thick clouds rolled over the cliffs as Ryan and Lyrixa reached the edge of a canyon that wasn't marked on any map. Below it, nestled between ancient stones and glowing roots, stood a structure, half swallowed by time. A temple, old silent, breathing. Ryan stepped forward slowly. This is it? Lyrixa nodded. The Temple of the Pairs, where the first human-alien bonds were made, before the Empire banned them. The entrance wasn't blocked. No guards, no machines, just a wide arch of black stone covered in strange symbols. As they stepped inside, the air shifted. Warmer, heavier. Ryan felt like the temple was watching him. Inside, the walls glowed faintly with soft blue light. The floor was smooth, worn from thousands of years. Strange statues lined the halls, each one showing a pair. One human, one alien. All different. All together. Ryan paused at one. It looked like him. Not exactly, but close. Same eyes, same stance. And beside the statue, a female alien with long hair and a kind expression. Lyrixa stopped beside him. Her voice was quiet. You've been here before. Ryan blinked. What? She stepped forward, touching the base of the statue. This is you. The bond you carry isn't new. It's a rebirth of an old link, lost, broken, and now found again. A sudden flash hit Ryan's mind, not pain, memory. He saw a child's hand holding hers, running through glowing halls, laughing, touching a glowing orb in the center of a great room, then darkness, screams, and silence. He staggered back. I saw it, he gasped. I was here, as a kid. She nodded. They erased your memory, but the bond kept the truth hidden deep inside. They continued walking until they reached the heart of the temple, a wide chamber. In the center, a floating stone ring, cracked, in several places but still glowing. Lyrixa stepped toward it and bowed her head. This is the Echo Gate. It activates when two bonded souls stand beneath it together. Ryan joined her under the ring. Nothing happened. Then, a single tone echoed through the chamber. Not a sound, but a feeling. The ring lit up. Images burst to life around them. Holograms of ancient bonds. Human hands holding alien ones. A council speaking of unity. A scientist declaring, the soul link works. It creates more than peace. It creates evolution. Ryan turned slowly, overwhelmed. This was real. And they buried it. They didn't just bury it, Lyrixa said. They hunted it, because a galaxy of bonded species can't be ruled by fear. He looked at her. Is that why they're chasing us? She nodded. Because if we survive, others might remember too. Others might find their matches. Ryan's jaw clenched. Then we can't run anymore. A deep voice echoed from the shadows. You won't need to. They turned. An old alien stepped from the darkness. His skin shimmered like mist and his eyes glowed like twin moons. He bowed to them. I am Karanvo, last guardian of the temple, and I have waited a very long time for you. Later, in a quiet chamber filled with floating crystals, the guardian shared stories of hundreds of human-alien pairs who once walked the galaxy hand in hand, of empires afraid of those who could not be divided, and of the final order, to destroy every link, every file, every memory. But one bond always survives, the guardian said, because it hides in the heart, and the heart cannot be erased. He looked at Ryan and Lyrixa. You are not just a pair. You are a signal. Others will feel you, and they will remember. A loud crash shook the walls. Ryan stood up fast. They found us. The guardian nodded calmly. Then it's time. Time for what? Ryan asked. Time to wake the temple. He walked toward the Echo Gate and touched it. The entire building began to glow, and deep beneath the floor, something ancient stirred. Far above, in the Empire's ship, the captain stared at the sensors. Sir, the temple just powered up. Impossible. That place has been dead for centuries. No, the officer said. It's alive, and it's sending out a signal. To who? The answer came slowly. To everyone. The Echo Gate pulsed, with golden light. Every crystal inside the temple floated now, vibrating with sound that couldn't be heard, only felt. It echoed in Ryan's bones, in Lyrix's chest. They stood hand in hand at the center of the ancient chamber, all around. Them, the walls shifted, revealing hidden memories. Not just data, but living, breathing scenes, images of Earth children meeting alien students, doctors linking minds to heal the sick. Two bonded souls calming riots with nothing but their presence. Ryan whispered, This really happened? Yes, said Guardian Karanvo, before the Empire poisoned the truth. Lyrixa watched as her younger self, barely 5, reached out to a small human boy in one of the visions. That boy was Ryan. He had the same eyes, the same quiet smile. Tears welled in her eyes. I never forgot him. Ryan stepped closer to the glowing vision of himself as a child, laughing and holding her hand. Something cracked inside him. A wall he didn't know existed, shattered. And suddenly, He remembered. It came like a wave. He saw himself as a boy, led into a room filled with light. He felt her hand in his. He remembered laughing with her, falling asleep beside her during the bonding ceremony. He remembered the panic when soldiers came, the screaming, being pulled away, a machine, a voice saying, "Erase the connection, the program is over." And then, darkness. Until now. He fell to his knees. I knew you, he whispered. Lyrixa knelt beside him, her voice shaking. You still do? He grabbed her hand. They stole everything from us. Not everything, she said softly. We're still here. Guardian Karanvo stood behind them. You are the last successful bond, he said. The only one strong enough to survive memory death. Ryan stood slowly. His voice had changed. Stronger now. I remember the Empire saying we were dangerous. You are, the Guardian replied. Because you're living proof that species don't need to fear each other. Lyrixa looked at the glowing ceiling. Why show us all of this now? Because the Empire's voice is built on silence, the Guardian said, and silence only lasts until someone speaks. Ryan stepped into the center of the echo gate. It reacted immediately, lights climbing higher, sound deepening. Karanvo turned to him. You can activate the final memory burst. It will send the full truth across the stars, to every system, every race, every hidden file. Ryan hesitated. Lyrixa touched his shoulder. If you do this, the Empire will fall. And if I don't, then no one will ever know we existed. Above them, the Empire's dreadnought descended into the atmosphere. Velshana, the High Commander of Memory Enforcement, stood on the bridge. She watched the readings with a scowl. They found the echo core, she growled. If they activate it, it's over. Her officer asked, should we destroy the temple? She stared into space, then spoke with steel in her voice. No, I'm going down there myself. Back in the temple, Ryan placed his palm on the echo. His voice echoed, steady and clear. To all species, to all people. We were told to forget. We were told to fear. But love is not a weakness. It's the future. And we remember now. The light exploded outward. A wave of memory shot through. The stars like lightning. On distant planets, buried files unlocked. On secret bases, old research appeared. In the minds of millions, strange dreams returned. Dreams of hands held across species, of laughter that crossed languages, of bonds that had once been forbidden. Velshana's ship crashed into the cliffs near the temple. She stepped out in fury, weapon drawn. She stormed into the glowing chamber but froze when she saw Ryan and Lyrixa standing inside the gate. You don't know what you've done, she screamed. Ryan turned calmly. Yes, I do. I've ended the lie. She raised her weapon, but it trembled in her hand, because her soldiers, each of them, were staring at the images on the walls, and they remembered too. One whispered, I had a bond. I forgot, but I see her face now. Another dropped his gun, and Velshana for the first time looked afraid. She took a step back, then turned and ran. Lyrixa looked at Ryan. It's done. He took her hand, heart full. No, he said softly, it's just beginning. The temple stood in silence. Not because it was empty, but because the galaxy was listening. The echo gate had done its work, broadcasting hidden truths, broken memories, and forbidden bonds across thousands of light years. Across alien cities, hidden colonies and ancient ships' minds awakened. Some cried, some screamed, but none could say they didn't know anymore. Ryan and Lyrixa stood under the glowing ring, hand in hand. The golden light faded, but the warmth remained. You did it, she whispered. No, he said. We did. They looked at the ruined stairs where Velshana had fled. Her army had crumbled, not with war but with remembrance. Soldiers had laid, Down their weapons, stunned by the images shown in the echo gate, their own memories, once erased, now returned. The temple's guardian, Karen Vo, stepped forward, slower now. "You have restored what was lost," he said. "But now, a choice must be made." Ryan tilted his head. "What kind of choice?" "The bond you carry has awakened every ancient link still alive," Karen Vo explained. "You are more than a couple now. You are a living key. If you stay as you are, your presence will continue to awaken others. You will start a movement that no empire can stop." Lyriksha looked both honored and afraid. "But what's the cost?" "You will never have a quiet life," the guardian said. "No hiding, no peace. You will be seen, loved by many, hated by some." Ryan looked at her. "And the other choice?" The guardian's voice dropped. "I can sever the bond fully, bury it so deep no one will sense it again. You'll both live normal lives, free, separate, safe." A heavy silence fell. Ryan didn't answer right away. He walked slowly toward the center of the chamber. The lights pulsed with every step. He turned to face her. "You said you were my wife," he began. She nodded, quiet. "I didn't believe you. I was scared, confused, angry." He paused. "But now, I remember the boy who held your hand. I remember the smile, the bond, the light." He stepped closer. "I don't want to lose it again. I don't care about safe. I don't care about quiet." He took her hands in his. "You're not just my wife by law, or memory, or science." A deep breath. "You're my wife by soul." Tears welled in her eyes. She didn't speak. Instead, she placed her forehead to his, and the temple shined like a second sun. Far above, aboard thousands of ships, alien and human alike, something stirred, tiny flickers of connection, moments of sudden recognition, old lovers remembering names, children dreaming of places they'd never been. Two old soldiers sitting side by side on a bench, suddenly holding hands without knowing why. The Empire's silence had been broken, not with war, but with love. Days later, Ryan and Lyriksha stood at the edge of the cliff. Below them, pilgrims were arriving, aliens, humans, hybrids, all walking toward the reborn temple. Karen Vo had lit the flame again. The temple of the pairs would no longer be hidden. It would be a place of beginning. Ryan turned to her. "You ready?" Lyriksha smiled. "I've waited my whole life for this." They walked down together, not as strangers, not as outlaws, but as a bonded pair, not by name, by choice.